What's up, people? Hola, hola, mi gente. Welcome back to the channel, or bienvenidos if you're new here. My name is Ariana and I'm a digital nomad documenting my travel adventures as I journey around the world. Today I'm tuning in from Medellin, Colombia, and I wanted to have a travel chat with you guys about the difference between traveling for vacation versus traveling as a digital nomad. Occasionally, I have heard some people try to guess as to how I'm able to travel as frequently as I do, and even make the assumption that I must have all this money to just blow on travel. But really, traveling as a digital nomad has actually helped me stretch my dollars further because it is so different from traveling on vacation. In this video, I'm going to break down the reasons for why that is. So the first and probably most obvious reason is in regards to money and how you spend it when you're on vacation versus as a digital nomad. A big one and a big saver for me has been my accommodations. When you're on vacation, you're likely traveling to a destination and only going to be there for a certain amount of time. So ideally, you're still paying rent or mortgage or wherever it is that you're living back at home. And the place that you're staying at your destination for vacation is an additional cost to your normal living expenses. So as a digital nomad, I don't have ties back to an apartment or a house anymore because I sold that before I left, and now when I go and whatever I am paying to stay in that destination where I'm traveling to, that's typically all that I'm paying for in terms of accommodations or like my monthly rent. Now, some places that I go can be a little bit more expensive than others, and some places like Colombia can be really affordable in comparison. So my accommodation budget does kind of like roller coaster. It changes more or less. But I know that what I am spending on places to stay while I'm traveling is significantly lower than what I was spending to stay in my apartment back when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. Another big difference in regards to money between being a nomad and traveling for a vacation is your budget. So the type of spending that I do as a nomad is more focused around groceries because I can cook at home, or figuring out public transportation as opposed to maybe spending more on taxis or Ubers. I would also argue that flights can be cheaper because you have more flexibility. Unless you're like super pressed on going to a specific place, you can kind of follow where the cheap prices go. And 9 times out of 10, nomads are usually looking for a one-way ticket, so that automatically cuts the price of a flight ticket in half. And another difference to note in regards to spending, as a digital nomad, I'm a lot more restrictive with just things that I buy in general. One, because I don't got that much suitcase space. Like, I'm working with a very limited amount of room in addition to a limited amount of weight. There's nothing that I want to buy and carry around with me in my suitcase that makes me pay extra at the airport to get to places. Versus if you're traveling for vacation, you're probably buying all the souvenirs and trying to get all the memorable tokens, all the memorable items that you could get while you're in that place, since one, you don't know when or if you'll ever be back again, and two, you know that you're returning home to a place where you can store all the items that you are purchasing. This, in comparison to how you would spend or manage a budget for vacation, would be a little bit different. You're more likely to be going out to eat because you want to, enjoy the restaurants while you're on vacation and taste the cuisine in that area. And you're less likely to want to leave your everyday routine where you're always cooking at home to go on vacation and be cooking as well. So you're more likely to be spending a little bit more frivolously because you're trying to enjoy your vacation time. It's probably less likely that you're taking public transportation, or even in my case now, I usually walk everywhere. Colombia, specifically Medellin, Colombia, the area that I'm in, is very walkable. So I'll walk to get groceries and I'll walk to the gym. I occasionally will take Ubers, and really the public transportation is even cheaper than the $2 to $3 Ubers that I've taken. So I say all this to say, when you are visiting on vacation, you're not as likely to be seeking out these ways. You're probably looking for the fastest ways and not the most affordable ways to get around. And then of course, flight tickets. Buying a way there and back is obviously going to make the ticket a little bit higher than a one-way flight for a nomad. If you're on vacation, you're probably dealing with a specific range of dates in which you have to get that flight ticket, which can make it a little bit more expensive depending on the season, flight prices, all that jazz. Alright, so another reason that traveling as a nomad versus traveling for vacation are so distinctly different is due to time. As a digital nomad, I think it gets portrayed often on the internet and social media that we are just lounging out on the beach with a computer. And it's really funny to me because that is like the opposite of my life. On a daily, I work 9 to 5. I'm usually, yes, stuck to a computer, but nowhere near a beach because the internet is not good out on the beach. I need a good internet connection and I need quiet because a lot of the times I'm on calls and hosting workshops and different things like that. It's actually been a while since I have talked about what I do on a daily basis with my job. I did make one video during the pandemic of what my job was like working while we were on lockdown, but a lot of that has changed drastically, and I'm thinking about making another updated video soon so you guys can get a better idea of what a day-to-day is like in my life as a UX designer. If that's something that you're interested in, be sure to comment down below, show us more UX videos. So like I was saying, time is a huge factor. As a nomad, vacationing as a nomad, I'm usually inside, heads down, Monday through Friday, and poking out on the weekend for a vacation. Versus people who are vacationing usually don't even know what day it is. Like, no one keeps track of Monday through Friday. Like, every day is vacation day. And so time is very different. As a nomad, you also have more flexibility with your trip. Usually the length of a nomad stay would probably be a little bit longer, depending on how that nomad travels, would probably be a little bit longer than someone on vacation. So for example, if you have an excursion planned on one of the days that you're there for a week and it happens to rain and that excursion gets canceled, or it happens to conflict with a holiday that goes on in that country, you're just kind of SOL and you kind of have to just miss out on that excursion. Whereas a nomad, if that were the case, you can kind of just reschedule for another day later in the duration of your stay. So it does give you some more flexibility. I think those who travel for vacation have a lot more freedom because, like I said, you don't even have to worry about what day of the week it is. You know you're there for a set period of time and that whole week is vacation. Versus traveling as a nomad, you are a little bit more restricted to your work hours, but you have some flexibility in how and when you get to explore the area that you're in. As a digital nomad, you also have more time to build relationships with people and make friends in the places that you're visiting. When you're on vacation and you're only in a destination for a limited amount of time, it can be a little bit harder to form those types of connections, deep connections with people and build relationships. And you also get a very different view of a place unless you deliberately go out of your way to avoid the touristy side of things. You're likely to get more of a touristic experience. And my third difference in between traveling as a nomad versus traveling for vacation is the travel preparation. Packing is not nearly as dreadful for me as it is as a nomad as it was when I would pack for vacation. I would have so many options to choose from and want to have the perfect clothing, perfect pieces, perfect accessories for all my Instagram photos. And when you're on vacation, you're trying to stunt on the gram, you're trying to make everything look good. So packing is a little bit different. Now, as I'm traveling with just 2 suitcases, it's literally the same things going in and the same things going out. If it's not, it's usually because I'm replacing pieces in my wardrobe. So it's nothing new being added. Like, I'm dealing with the same amount of things, and packing it up has become more of a routine as opposed to a burden like it used to be. When I started traveling as a nomad, I did have a lot of upfront costs because I was moving. I had to move out of my apartment. I got a storage unit to put some of the stuff that I wanted to keep there. And just moving in general has a lot of expenses. But since I have been traveling consistently then, I haven't had nearly as heavy of upfront costs as I did. And I know this compares drastically to traveling for vacation, where, like I said, you have all those initial preparation costs to get ready for vacation that can make the vacation even more expensive in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this video up. Those are the 3 big differences that I've seen between traveling as a nomad versus traveling for vacation. If there's something I left out or you think should be added to that list, please do drop it down in the comments below. And if traveling as a nomad is something that's interesting to you and you're still just trying to figure out the how behind it, be sure to check out my video on how to find digital nomad jobs. It has a list of different jobs that are out there, some that don't even really require tech backgrounds or working on a computer, but still give you the freedom to work remotely and from anywhere that you would like in the world. If you've got the vacation bug and you're planning on taking a trip anytime soon, be sure to visit shopthewanderbox.com, where you can find travel itineraries that are fit to match your travel style and help make travel planning easier. If you found this video helpful or at least interesting, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of the new content that I post. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao. Now, when I initially left the States to start traveling as a nomad, I did have a lot of upfront cost as well, because I was, oh, that is huge. What is that? Oh no. I'm glad my door shut. Oh, get away, get away. Oh, look at this bug. Oh, I almost got him, he flew away. Okay. But it's back. My super short show. Super short. Whew. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and yeah.